Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview July 5th, 2016 on a Tuesday. Coming to you live from Thailand. Cloudy skies, overcast, looks like rain. Alright traders, this is brought to you through FXCL excellence in trading. Traders don't have a lot to talk about today as yesterday was a holiday in the United States. Markets really didn't move very much. But let's get started. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I will let you know that I do record this during the Asia session. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, got on the Big Bird, came to Bangkok, Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, my friends, I'm in my 9th year here in Thailand and absolutely loving it. The people are great, the food is great, the atmosphere is great, the climate's great, and most of all, the time zone is great. I can trade all 3 trading sessions, only about 2.5 hours in the New York session, as I do not trade Forex in the US session. I trade options. All right, how do I trade? Well, I'm a pullback trader. I like to see a trade make its move, pull back to a Fibonacci level or support or resistance level, and then I will take my trade. Traders, I do listen to fundamentals every day, all day long. I do pay for news feed, and it's so important that we know what's going on around the world as we're macro traders. We don't just trade the euro dollar, right? We need to know what's going on around the world. We need to know when news events are coming out and what to expect when they're coming out. And my news feed sends me emails at the beginning of the session, the middle of the session, at the end of the session. So I have a good idea what's going to be said if some news actually puts out the statement, what they're going to read, whoever it is, whether it's FOMC Yellen or ECB President Draghi. They'll put that out before they actually make their statement. And that's very helpful in our trades, right? We want to protect our position. However, I'm a technician. I love reading charts. I love reading candlestick patterns. It's so important you understand candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns tells us what the possibility of price action is going to be in the future. So I'm always looking at support, resistance, price action, price structure, price failure, and of course, levels, price levels. That's so important, right? You know, Forex repeats itself. So if there's a level that price has reacted to in the past, it'll probably react to it in the future. It's so helpful when you're trading. Well, traders, I take my fundamentals and my technicals, I put them together, I put in a trade plan, I activate my trade plan. Price either comes to me or I don't take the trade. It's very simple. You have to be very disciplined in Forex trading, my friends. Otherwise, you can get beat up. And yes, traders, I do take losses. Don't you worry about that. We do take losses. But our losses are small and our winners are profitable. And, well, I like to look for 3-to-1s, but we don't always get that. We always get sometimes 1-to-1 or 1.5-to-1. As long as I'm in the green, that's really all that matters to me, right? Build up that pip bank. All right, traders, let's talk about the legal stuff. This is our Forex risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex market. Traders, do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump over to news and commentary. No reason to talk about the U.S. as the U.S. was closed yesterday. However, let's take a look at what's going on in the Eurozone. Ooh, bad day in the Eurozone. The DAX was negative 0.69%. The FTSE 100 was negative 0.84%. The CAC 40 was negative 0.91%. And the Eurostoxx 50 was negative 0.58%. So that wasn't too good of a day. Let's head on over to Asia. Now, some of these countries are not trading yet. They have about another 45 minutes before they open. The Nikkei 225, however, is open. It's currently negative 0.83%. The S&P ASX out of Australia is negative 0.64%. The China A50 closed yesterday positive 1.52% as they're not open yet. However, the Hang Seng out of Hong Kong is also not open yet, and they closed positive 1.27%, with the Kospi out of Seoul that is currently trading at negative 0.33%. Let's take a look at our economic calendar today. We have a lot of data coming out of the Aussie today. The Aussie has quite a bit of data. We've got retail sales coming out today. And then, of course, we have our rate statement that will come out, our interest rate decision and rate statement. We're not expecting any rate changes. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, so you have to be very alert to that. So what does that tell us as traders? It tells us that we need to stay away from the Aussie pairs. Don't be entering any Aussie trades until this data is released. And this is pretty late in the Asia session, so it's only about 2.5 hours before the London Open. Okay. All right, let's take a look over here. And basically, traders, I have to tell you, we do have the Great British Pound Services PMI in the London session, and we have quoted as high impact, surprisingly enough. Bank of England Governor Carney speaks today in the London session. So that'll really mess up our London session. You don't want to be taking trades when he is talking. We do have some there's really nothing in the U.S. session that is going to move the markets, not even worth talking about. So, the big one is going to be the Aussie data today, so we will keep an eye on that. Commentary today is, this is really like a Monday, so this is like Observation Monday, right? So we really don't want to do a lot as far as trading today. I'm not against entering a trade today. I'm just going to be very, very cautious today, especially with the pound and especially with the Aussie until all this data is released and gone. So basically, we're looking at trading not until London lunch before I'm going to actually enter into a trade. All right, traders, let's get moving on to the slides today. Here's the euro dollar. Euro dollar really didn't do much. It's still in this range. It's sitting at this daily pivot point. I really want this to come down and break this 200 exponential moving average, give us a retest at this S1 pivot, and we'll try to get in at 111, like 32, 35, somewhere in that area. We'll try to get in that and take it to the downside. Even if this closes below the daily pivot point, I really wanted to break that 200. Look left of the chart, you can see we have a lot of price action there. I really don't want to fight that because that can bounce and take us all the way back up. The good news is that the 10 exponential moving average has finally is now above price. We're gonna get out of this thing at the R2 pivot point at 1.1075. If you can expand this chart on your platform, you'll see that there was support there, and that's why I picked that level. And it just looks like a nice level to get out at. So that's what's going on with Euro Aussie. Pretty simple pair. Just be careful in the London session. I don't think the Great British Pound data is going to really affect the euro, so nothing to worry about there. If we get a trade set up, I'm more than willing to jump in on that. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. Pound dollar keeps just diving. Just keeps diving. Unbelievable. Brexit's really put the screws to them, with their value. So I'm looking for an aggressive pullback to this 1.3369. The unfortunate thing is we know that the pound doesn't like to give us pullbacks. So really not looking to do very much here, folks. And then we have to get out at 1.3240. That's a nice place to get out. We got to break that daily pivot point. We're going to get a bounce, but we want to get to that all-one pivot and get out of there. This, again, is not on my hit list unless the data in London brings this all the way back up and we can get a fresh start. But other than this just continues to grind its way to the downside. If you want to get into this, after the data comes out, I would just go down to a 15-minute chart and see if you can wiggle your way into this trade. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar did a little up move yesterday. Again, I'm really happy to see that the 10 EMA is above price. However, we're at a confluence here. We got the daily pivot point in the 55. It's over. You can see on this candle that it's rejected the 55 EMA. So I want this to break the daily pivot, retest it. We'll get it at 0.7502 or 74.95 would be great. And we'll get out at 0.74. I'd go down to like, looks like 70. I'd get out of there. And we'll get out at that all-in-one pivot point if we have to. I prefer to wait for it to get down to the R2 reversal pivot point at 0.7411. That would be a nice 100-pip trade, folks, if this works. And I don't see any reason why it can't work. Everybody's back to work. We're at full strength in the markets today. So the only thing is this could be a late trade. Like I said, I think a lot of these trades are going to end up coming to tuition later in the day, more like London lunch. Okay. Here's the euro yen. This popped out. A lot of talk coming out of the JPYs this morning. They did have some very light data come out. So this is a news candle, this big red candle that you're seeing. And look at where it stopped at, right at support, right? So I need this to pull back up to the daily pivot point of the 200 exponential moving average, give us a retest, and we'll take it back down. I do like, however, that the 55 and the 10 exponential moving average is above price. So I really like that. Traders, this is not the place to enter a trade. This is not a place to enter the trade. If you want to mark this as support, let it break it and then retest it and then take it down. Well, that's not chasing price. Now that becomes resistance, and we always sell at resistance and buy at support. But this can be a really nice trade, and we'll get out at 113.49. All right, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Not a lot here. It bumped up a little bit. Again, the only nice thing I like to see is this Asia session has brought that 10 exponential moving average above price. We're stuck on the daily pivot point. It cannot get below the daily pivot point. This needs to get below the 55. Give us a retest. And we'll take this back down to 0.7199. We'll enter that, and we'll get out at the R2 reversal pivot point at 0.7132. I do like, if you look at the 200 exponential moving average, there's really no price action there, and I think it's just going to slide right on through there. It's really a wide open space once we break that 55, and this looks like a really sweet trade today. So I'll be watching that pretty closely today. This New Zealand dollar is on my top of my list to watch. I think this is going to work out really well, and I wouldn't do anything until London Open, because we're going to see how this Aussie news come out, as this can affect the New Zealand dollar's price action. All right, traders, that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. Wow, almost a minute, 2 minutes early today. Yeah, well, it's kind of late data today. Not a lot, soft data today. Not a lot to talk about. Wasn't a lot of data to talk about that came out yesterday because New York was closed. However, everybody is back in the market today, so it's a full day of trading. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL, Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me today, and we will catch you in about 24 hours. Traders, always remember to trade smart and not hard. Traders, have a great trading day, and we'll see you then. Take care now.